Hello, I'm Joseph. This is my wife, Jasmine,
Hello.
and we want to talk about our company and what our vision is, what our mission is, and we want to just let you guys know what everything's all about.
My name is Jasmine Thomas, and I am your nutrition consultant.
I'm Joseph Thomas. I'm a medical doctor, a family medicine trained doctor in residency, and more recently, I got a fellowship in lifestyle medicine. And so I'm double board certified in family medicine and lifestyle medicine, and our company is focusing on my specialty, lifestyle medicine. Now, I'm a doctor. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to let Jasmine introduce herself first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how I got to the point of becoming a lifestyle medicine doctor. Jasmine, tell us a little bit more about your education and how you got to the point of becoming a nutrition counselor.
Yes, I have my degree in math education, and I taught high school and also substituted for middle school for a few years. And I loved math, never thought that I would be anything else. And then I realized that as I was going through my life, I was not able to complete the testing that I needed when we moved to Virginia. And I just took that as a sign that this was maybe not the route that I was meant to continue. And so maybe some of you can relate when you have your mindset on one thing, you think that you're going to do that for the rest of your life, and you take that on as your identity and who you are and your passions. And so I wasn't expecting to do anything else. It took a couple years to really accept that and to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. And along the way, my husband would send me things and send me ideas of things to look into, maybe into herbalists or nutrition and things like that. And I just was not ready. I never envisioned myself doing anything connected to medicine. As much as I wanted to be healthy personally myself, it wasn't something that I envisioned for myself yet. But along the way, I did a lot of prayer and thinking, and I knew that God wanted something for me personally, something that I wasn't expecting. And God answered that prayer for me. I saw that my husband sent me another idea, and that was to look into nutrition consulting. And that passion really rose up in my heart to actually try this out. I loved teaching and I loved helping people to accomplish their goals. And I realized that I really liked giving nutrition advice, giving people a way to learn how to eat better, what meals that they could go to. And I saw that fit the bill for me. So I started the course. I enjoyed every bit of it. And that's how I became a nutrition consultant. And I haven't looked back since.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Like Jasmine was saying, of course, we're married if you guys haven't caught up to that yet. But I was trying to get Jasmine to join me in the healthcare field. So I would send her things about becoming an herbalist, a health coach, anything just to get her involved because I love working with Jasmine.
And I
I
do
grew,
too.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I grew up in a family where my parents worked together. So it's the model I always saw and the model that I envisioned eventually happening in our marriage. And Jasmine does a great job of teaching people about nutrition. So, in terms of if someone booked a visit with you, Jasmine, what would that look like?
So I would assess their life. I would ask various questions to get their backgrounds, what their habits are, what their everyday typically looks like from beginning to end, from when they wake up to when they go to sleep. Do they work out, their sleeping habits, their eating habits, and everything else? What kind of meals do they eat to help me get a better idea of their lifestyle and also their history as well, so that I can find a plan that fits their lifestyle, what will help them to be able to reach their goals, and that actually meets their needs, and also how they like to eat. Not everybody eats the same way and likes the same foods. And so I would have a meal plan set that would fit their needs and their tastes and also their lifestyles. So, yeah, that's what they would expect from me. And also along the way, if there were food ideas that they needed, or if someone needed help shopping, I would help them in that route. If there are any foods in their pantries that they're trying to replace, then I would help guide them on a way of how they could find more nutritious foods maybe even with a similar taste. So that's exactly what I would do.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I hope you guys understand that. So the difference between our business would be that Jasmine would really hone in on your pantry. So for instance, I love Indian food. I love Caribbean food, Asian food, Italian food. I have a lot of different tastes. And so I'll call Jasmine and I'll say, hey, our family really likes Caribbean food. Can you give us some recipes or some items that are in the Caribbean diet that would fit in a diet that suits your practice? I'm going to hold off on telling you what diet that is till the end, but that's the difference. So I would give the structure, the background, I would give the diagnosis and the plan, and then Jazmine can hone in on the nutrition while she also looks at the whole person as well. And I know that both of us have a similar upbringing, but I would say that, and wouldn't you say this as well, that we're both Christian, and in our Christian faith, health is heavenly, it is heavenly, but it's heavily emphasized. And would you mind telling the viewer a little bit more about your own personal health journey and the health being an aspect of our Christian faith, how that led you to this point as well?
Yeah. So in our faith, we noticed that health really impacts your overall well being, including spiritual life. But growing up, I did eat the typical American diet. I loved Cocoa Pebbles, and we had white bread, and I ate meats, and I ate dairy as well. And sporadically through my life, we try to have a vegetarian diet. And then me personally, I was just like, okay, I think I'm done trying this. I'll go ahead and switch over. Not really emphasizing health. It was just like, okay, this is what my mom is doing. Let me go ahead and try it. And then it wasn't until later on in my early 20s where I really decided that I've done this before, so I know I can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to being vegetarian. And then I took the next step a few years later and I said, okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and become vegan. And during the vegetarian stage, I made sure that I didn't have any cheese, but I was okay with eggs and milk. And so I transitioned little by little so it would make it a little bit easier. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I can go ahead and switch to being full vegan. And that was until we were married. And then later down the line, we learned more about health
Oh,
and
well,
all
hold
the
on.
implications. So, I don't
Hold
want to
on.
go too
Don't
far.
don't
Okay.
go too far. Don't go too
But yeah,
far.
that was my life. That was my lifestyle. And that's how I got here today.
Yeah, because I think that intersection between when Jasmine changed over to becoming vegan at the time, and I think vegan is a good word. And I want you guys to know that our company actually is not a vegan company. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about what we do. But Jasmine became vegan. And then a couple years later, she meets me. So I'm someone who grew up vegetarian basically my entire life. Grew up in a household that did not have meat. We did have a lot of cheese, a lot of dairy, a lot of eggs, a lot of processed veggie meat, a lot of processed foods in general. And as I got a little older, I actually did med school at a school called Ross University, and it was on this island called Dominica. And in Dominica, I started losing weight because I did not actually know how to eat a healthy vegan diet. I'm going to call it vegan right now. Healthy vegan diet. We're gonna get to the right name in a little bit. But I didn't understand it. I said I didn't have my veggie meats. I didn't have my processed cereals. I didn't have the cheeses. I'm on this island. I have no idea what to eat. And it's crazy because right outside my window, there's coconut trees everywhere. You go down the street, you can get bananas, you can get mangoes. They're falling, literally falling on the ground everywhere. Was not interested in eating these foods. There was actually one time on the island where a group of us guys, we went and we gathered all these guava in the air and we actually made a guava juice. And it was good. The other guys on the islands were eating guavas all the time, but I was not really big in eating fruit. I was looking for fried chicken and fried steak. If you guys are vegetarian, you'll know what these things are. Grillers and all this processed food. And so we meet towards the end of med school and we get married as I'm starting residency and in residency. And me and Jasmine are both now vegetarian. Yeah, exactly. I pulled Jasmine from being vegan to being vegetarian because I love cheese. I would go to the store every single week, then I would get a new cheese and I would try it out and I would critique the cheese to myself. And I would do pasta with cheese and all these different things. And one thing that kind of hit me initially, we did lab work. And Jazmine's labs came back normal. This was when I was in my mid to late 20s. And it showed that I had high A1C. I had a high hemoglobin A1C. It wasn't diabetes, but it was pre-diabetes. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I think I eat pretty healthy. And I think that I'm doing the right stuff, but why do I have pre-diabetes? And then I looked at my cholesterol. My cholesterol was too low, but the HDL was too low. And if you guys ever want to learn about HDL, LDL, schedule a visit. But it hit me as weird. I called my dad, and my dad said that his is also low. And he also said that his A1C is high. Now, of course, I'm like, oh, this must be genetic. My dad's dad had type 2 diabetes. My dad has prediabetes. I have prediabetes. I'm just on this track to getting diabetes. So it is what it is. Strangely enough, we started attending a church down there, and the pastor finds out that I'm a doctor, or a doctor. I'm in residency, so I'm a doctor in training, And he's like, hey, do you want to lead the diabetes reversal program? Now, I'm coming from a house. My dad's a doctor, and I'm just coming fresh out of med school and fresh out of residency. And I know how to identify disease. I know how to medically treat disease. But reversing disease is something that is completely foreign to me. Mind you, I grew up in a faith that talks about being healthy, but to be honest, I didn't actually understand how to actually be healthy, because the replacement for meat has always been processed foods. Don't eat meat, eat processed foods. Meat can be inflammatory. Processed foods are better. These are the things that you would hear. There's more to this story, but I'm just giving you the gist. So me and Jazmine actually do a reversing diabetes class.
What people would do is they would sign up for free, and they would come and listen to the lectures. And after the lectures, there would be a coaching time, in a sense of just tracking our progress and improve fiber intakes and things like that. And then afterwards, there would also be a cooking demonstration to show how to actually eat the foods that they should eat to reach the goals that they needed, in connection with the talks that Dr. Thomas would present. And it was a really amazing experience to see.
Talk about amazing. Imagine sitting in a room and you don't know anything about changing people's health. And you tell people, hey, get rid of white sugar, eat high fiber foods for breakfast, lunch, and have a smaller dinner. And let's exercise every day. Just walk. And let's do this for 6 weeks. And I kid you not, people were going off their medications. They were going to their doctors. The doctors were having to decrease their medicines. We had a lady who couldn't walk at the beginning hardly. She was with a cane. She's running around the room by the end. And I'm looking around, what in the world? I'm not doing anything in my brain. Because in my brain, doing something is giving a medicine or doing some type of procedure. I'm just giving people a way to actually live a little bit better. So at this point in time, me and Jazmine are still eating cheese. We actually still aren't completely healthy. I think that the fiber thing caught on to us. We started eating some beans, right? Eating more greens and beans. So we increased the fiber portion, but I still had to eat my wham. If you guys know what wham is, okay. So I eat my wham for Thanksgiving. I had to eat my fried chicken and the Worthington and Morning
Fried veggie
Star.
chicken, of course.
Veggie chicken. I had to eat that stuff. It was a part of me that I couldn't give up. Well, mac and cheese. Whew, man, mac and cheese. All right, so
Memory lane.
yes. So then we moved forward. I finished residency as a family medicine doctor.
Oh, and if I could just add real quick, when people were in the program, we were standing in the back in the beginning, and we actually noticed a physical difference in people's weights. We looked and I said, Joe, I think people actually look smaller. And they were losing weight in the process while being healthy. So it was profound. Yeah.
Better than Ozempic. Anyway, we get done with residency and we're teetering here with our diet. We move and I get a job as a hospitalist, because in my brain, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a hospitalist. I enjoy that realm study. I wasn't really big into preventative at that time, because like I told you guys, I didn't really learn preventative in terms of reversal, because I'm the type of person, Jazmine knows this, that I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. If I know there's a solution to a problem, I want to do that solution and then solve the problem. And sometimes for me, when I was in preventative medicine, just giving people medicine over and over again, it took away the joy of being a doctor, because I wasn't able to actually cure them or heal them immediately. So I got a little bit of that in the hospital because someone comes in and they have a heart attack, you're able to quote unquote save them, get them out on the right meds so they can, what I found out, come right back in with another health condition. And this is during the time of, so I'm treating people and people getting sick, coming right back. And I realized there's this hospital crowd. I kept seeing the same people over and over again. And one patient really stuck out to me. He was a baker and he had really horrible type 2 diabetes and overweight, had kidney disease and all that. And so I went into the room, and this is what I said, I'm still learning. But I said, hey, what do you eat? He said, oh, I'm a baker. I bake cakes. And I was like, maybe that stuff isn't good for you. Maybe that's the reason why you keep coming back. He's like, yeah, but this is what I know. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. I said, well, maybe you should stop doing that. But I kept seeing him over and over again. Towards the end, this is 3 years in. This is after Jazmine and me had really started getting into more cooking at home, like HelloFresh. We started doing these different meals at home. I had a patient come in and I was not able to get other patients' vitals and everything set. And so literally I just went into the room one day and I was like, hey, I'm going to put you on a completely vegan diet. But in the hospital, they don't have veggie meat. So it was actually all plants. It was like salads and fruits and stuff like that. She was on a vent the day I told her this. I go in the next day, she's off the vent.
Wow.
And she's mad because she's been eating salads, for the last couple of days, but she's better. And it was profound to see something like that. And that was towards the end of the hospitalist, because I think I started just craving, trying to actually figure out how to actually heal people fully. So then me and Jazmine, we start looking into getting rid of dairy out of the diet, because I started having all this inflammation in my joints and arms. And I was like, I wonder if this is the dairy. And then we went to a lady named Miss Sharon.
So Miss Sharon is someone who has a nonprofit. It's called Cleansing Stream. And she's a dear friend of mine. I've known her for a long time. And she knows that my husband is a doctor, and she was doing different health talks, but more like natural ways of healing and herbalist classes and things like that. And she invited us to come so that my husband, Dr. Thomas, could actually go and give some more health talks in addition to that. And before he gave his talk, we got to listen in on some of the information that she was giving to everybody else. And it was really inspiring to see all the different ways that the body can heal just by using natural remedies.
Yeah, we go to see her. And was it the first time, the second time? They actually had like a building where they were doing health stuff. So they were doing juicing and teaching people about herbs. There was another doctor who came in who was into lifestyle medicine. So we're staying in this building. I go downstairs, I meet Dr. Emerson, and he starts telling me about lifestyle medicine and eating real food. And I was like, oh, eating real food? That's interesting. What do you mean by real food? And then, of course, Miss Sharon, she also talks about eating things that are actually real, like real things, which is the difference between what we train people to do versus what like a vegan diet is. Right? We want people to eat real food. So we started changing our habits. Now, like I said, this is a journey. This has been 6 years journey here. And we get to the point where we're starting to get into the groove of saying, okay, so we need to eat more fiber, not eat so much processed foods. Let's eat more things that are nutritious to us. Let's do smoothies and all these different things. We go to a conference. I think it was the same year.
Yeah, something like that.
It was the same year. Look, another person. I went to a Dr. Stoddard. Dr. Stoddard Fowle.
Yeah.
And at a family get together potluck, and she's a lifestyle medicine doctor, and she found me, and my dad was like, hey, maybe you'll be interested in talking with her. I talked to her and she's like, hey, you should go to the Plant Nutrition Conference. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, what you know about diet is going to change as you learn more about what it means to actually be healthy. That was a key event, because I think this was really the thing that flipped the switch on. Me and Jazmine signed up for Plant Nutrition Conference. We had no idea what this was. We were like, Plant Nutrition Conference. We signed up for Plant Nutrition Conference. Now, mind you, during this time, I left the hospital. I had started at a functional medicine company.
We started our company already, right?
And we had started our company, but not it started seeing patients. And so we go to the Plant Nutrition Conference, and we're just like, we're blown away. We're like, wait a minute, these people eat like us. They eat better than us.
And I'm not even a doctor, and I went to as many of those classes as possible.
They were amazing. Michael Greger, you had Scott Stoll, you had Nate Ornish, you had all these Furman. I'm trying to think of T. Colin Campbell. He actually talked the first one we were there. And T. Colin Campbell has a book called The China Study. So we go to this conference, we see this new diet, and we're like, wow, this is like real food. So we come home and we do a purge. Like we throw away all the processed foods. We look at ingredients. We're like, oh, this has B, whatever. Red 40 here, yellow 5. It's all going out. Yeah. We took a picture of a box of food that we threw away. Now, mind you, we were vegetarian or even vegan, I would say, at this point. But we were not healthy. We were not healthy. We threw away this huge box of food, and we start to work on trying to understand what it means to be whole food, plant-based, in terms of how we live, eating real food that's plant-based. And so I'm working at this functional medicine clinic, and I start having these patients come in. I put them on this whole food plant-based diet, and thankfully, the people who stuck with it did great. But of course, even with teaching this to people, I had things I had to learn. When you go from eating the American diet to eating a bunch of fiber, you're going to have some gut problems. And for me, this was something that I had to get used to. I was like, what's going on? I'm eating vegetables. People saying, oh, my stomach hurts or this hurts. I don't feel like I have a lot of energy when I eat plant-based foods. And I'm really confused about this. I had a friend there who was a functional medicine doc, and I would send them to him to see if there was something up with the gut, and he did a great job as well. But I was like, I don't understand what is going on. Like, how come I can't understand what these people are going through, and how can I help someone if they can't eat? That's really the thing, because I treat people with the food and the lifestyle, but the food. We're getting almost close to now. I get my lifestyle medicine degree to go to another conference. We've been to 3 conferences.
We've been to 3.
Yeah, with another conference. I got to learn a little bit more at another conference. So the great Baxter Montgomery was there, and it really inspired me. I got my degree of lifestyle medicine. Then now this year, we go to another plant nutrition conference. And we're now starting to see patients around the time that the conference starts. And I went to another couple. I'm going to give a bunch of shout outs here. A couple called Married to Health.
Yeah.
And their whole thing is about helping people with gut issues who go to a plant-based diet. And it really flipped the switch. Not only did it flip the switch for me, but it also gave me a security blanket. If ever I needed to talk to someone or send someone somewhere who was too complicated, that was the missing thing. Many people have gotten better on the plant-based diet. Just testimonies of people who asked if I could give them the diet and the lifestyle plan so they can lose weight and be healthy for their wedding. Check. And someone else who had acne, didn't want to have acne anymore. 6 weeks later, no acne. Someone who wanted to improve their kidney function, improving their kidney function. So a lot of people got better. And like I said, people that stuck with it had tremendous results, and who could tolerate the diet had tremendous results, and people who I can understand how to treat. Now I finally understand the gut much better. And so more current now, and we have this company called SimpliWell. What's the mission of SimpliWell?
The mission of Simply is to be able to get to the root cause. We believe that food really is medicine, and that the body has an incredible way to build and heal and restore itself. True wellness goes beyond simply maintaining body symptoms. It's about addressing the root cause of those health concerns. And our methodology is built on 4 real essential steps for every interaction that we have with patients. And it's number 1, identifying the cause. 2, alter unhealthy conditions. 3, correct detrimental habits. And 4, support the body's natural process of eliminating toxins and impurities. And when you do all that, your body is able to be very close and really back to where it should be. Our mission is to break the cycle of chronic issues by creating targeted science-based plans that help individuals reclaim their health and embrace a new healthy life.
That's a great summary. That's how we do things differently. Yeah. Our goal is not to have you take a medicine forever. Our goal is not to have you take a supplement forever. Yeah. I'm going to repeat that.
It might support.
I'm going to repeat that.
Yeah.
Our goal is not to have you take a medicine forever. Our goal is not to have you take supplements forever. Yeah. All right. I'm going to leave that there. All right. So we want to support the body's natural ways of healing. We want to give you the foods, the real food that you need to help heal your body. Now, we do this in a lot of different ways. Every person is different. Every person has to have a unique diet to their own condition, right? So don't think that I'm going to just tell you to only eat plants. No, if you have heart disease, I'm going to tell you to emphasize something. If you have kidney disease, you're going to have to do something different. If you had a stroke recently, hey, we may have to do something a little bit different. If you have autoimmune disease, something different. Crohn's disease, we're going to have to approach things a little differently. It's going to be around the structure of a plant-based diet with key things that we're going to include, but it's not going to look the same for everyone. That's one thing I learned. And then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to use all of our things around us to get us better as well. So Jazmine mentioned like those 4 things that we like to do. Some other things we like to use is walking as a cure. Walking as a cure. We want to use water or just hydration. So this is not just regular water. This is going to be water that reaches your cells. Cellular water, living water, some health experts may say. We want to do making sure you get adequate sleep, making sure you have good relationships around you. I'll give you tools to deal with these different obstacles that can easily come into our life, because sometimes if you just have a baby, sleep may not be something that happens. Or if you're around people that are not healthy in terms of relationships, sometimes things are out of our control. So we try to be with you through some of these more difficult things. We're Christian and we're here to treat everyone. We want anyone to feel welcome who wants to reach their goals of health. We want to also, as I said, sleep, exercise, make sure you get out to the sun, make sure you don't have a lot of stress, make sure there's no toxins or things that you're putting in your body that are damaging your body. We can help you with that. Alcohol, smoking, some other ones, but we'll talk about those during the visits.
Looking at the whole person.
Looking at the whole person. Yeah, I'm trying to hit all of them, but I hope everyone gets the gist of what's going to be going on. So Jazmine, tell us about the membership.
Yeah, so the membership is a really great deal. You're able to get all the benefits that you need from a visit while also saving money in the long run. So when you're on a membership, you not only get a great deal on all the visits and all the programs, but you also get discounts on any supplements, of course, by recommendation if needed by the doctor. You also have a family plan option as well, so that your whole family can receive the benefits of a membership.
Intermediate family.
Yeah, intermediate family.
I have a lot of thoughts about this. We're not related, but intermediate family, okay?
Yes. And you get a personalized nutrition plan and follow-up visits. And it's a really amazing offer. And it's definitely worth it.
Also, some other things that are included in the membership, you get discounted labs if you plan to go without insurance. You also get a weekly newsletter. So either me or Jazmine will type up a nice informational newsletter that tends to have a weekly challenge built into it. You have a sense of community. Some things to look forward in the future is there are going to be some specialty labs. So if you're interested in mold or interested in heavy metals, or if you're interested in some fancy lab, just let me know. And that'll be also included in the membership. The membership is really the best of the best. And we try to make it affordable for all family types, all family sizes, and hopefully all incomes. So that's the goal of the membership. We started this company to get people better, not so that we can become really rich. Right? I was in the hospital making more money than I do now. Right? The purpose of this company is to get people healthy, to get people well, simply well. That's the goal of the company. The future vision is to build a sense of community around our company, to have testimonies of people getting better, to have it become contagious, to actually educate people on how to actually live healthy, so that we can save you money in the long run. If we can get you healthy now, show you how to be healthy, then hey, you don't have to get that diabetes in the future. You don't have to have the high blood pressure that your grandmother had. You don't have to have the knee replacement that your uncle had. All right? We can get you healthy, we can get you well, but it is going to be a joint effort. Like, our most successful patients are people that are really motivated in their own health journey. And they'll come to us and they'll bring ideas like, oh, what do you think about this? And then that, we love stuff like that. All right, bring the ideas, bring the thoughts. Let's work together. Let's work on getting you help.
And no matter where you are in life, we are here with you every step of the way.
Yeah, because it's a journey. You guys saw our journey. Jazmine coming from where she ate to where she is now. Me coming from where I ate. Both of us weren't healthy. And now we feel much better, much more energy, much more just healthy now. We want what we have learned to be imparted to you. So that's the goal. So we hope that you join our company and that you get to learn more about what it means to be simply well.
Yep, and we look forward to one day joining you on your health journey. So thank you so much for being with us. and stay blessed and stay well.
Yes, stay well.
All right. Bye.
Bye.